I had gone through probably one of the roughest months or two in my business. I've been in business for 17 years, and I've gone through some really tough times. And I was just at the point that I was going to give up. I was like, I'm going to have to lay all my employees off, which is what bothered me the most, is I have 3 people that depend on me for their livelihoods, their health insurance. You know, I may have to move my business at home. Am I going to have to go work for somebody? I was just miserable. And I wasn't thinking positive, and I'm always, as a rule, a positive thinker. And I was just driving to work, and then I heard you talk, and I always listen on Wednesdays, because I love to listen to you, whatever you're talking about, whether it's hunting in a tree stand or football.
That's a lot of that.
And I was listening to you, and I'm like, wow, I mean, it just like really touched me. And I went into the office, and my employees, I don't want to say they were afraid of me, but they know the last couple months had been tough, and they're always like sort of looking to see what kind of mood I was in, if it's going to be a good day, bad day. And I said, that's it, guys, we're going to find a way. And I told them all about listening to you, and it's still on my computer. I taped up Find a Way, and I was real upbeat. Later that day, I got a phone call about a big account. It's not going to solve my problems, but it's a start. Last week, I got another new account, I think, and it's still going to be a lot of work, but I just keep saying Find a Way. And then my wonderful husband put up. I mean, I would get home, I was miserable, not talking, and he probably had enough of that, or.
Well, but see, I don't underestimate that. Because see, that to me it's a big part of what the book's about too. It's about all of these people who have helped me find my way. I've had to do it. I've had to do the work per se, but I've got all these integral parts or ingredients that have helped me with the recipe. Like when I wanted to play in the National Football League, and I put Find a Way above that, because I started thinking, Kyle, people would say, Kyle, that's so hard to do that. Or, do you know what the odds are of you making it in the National Football League from Pocatello, Idaho? Like, nobody's ever done that. And Merril, don't put all your eggs in one basket. And I just kind of kept ringing in my head, and I was looking at that goal, and I was like, well, wait a minute. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to find a way to beat the odds. Whatever work is required, I will do it. And there's nothing wrong in life with having more than one basket. That's what my thought. And I go, I'm going to find a way. And I was like, oh, that's it. So I got down and I wrote an 8x10 card, Find a Way. And I put that above I will play in the NFL, and I moved that down. So like all my goals fell under Find a Way. So what it did for me then that I did not realize is I've always used the term, it just created this action for me. I was going to go get it. I was going to do everything required for me to play in the NFL. But as I've gotten older and learned from experience like my mom's death, when my career got cut short with head trauma, and I had to learn how to read again, my farming accident, all these things that happened in my life, is that we all have, everybody sitting in this room, have a spiritual and mental energy. You're either going to choose to focus on and send that energy down to things that you don't want to have happen or have already happened, or you're going to focus on what you want to have happen. And it's about, people being able to change that channel for us and redirect it. So that's why when you sent that email, I was like, God, that's what I want to come from that. You're somebody who realized it right away.
Yeah, I mean, your timing couldn't have been better, because I've always been a positive person. It was almost like I gave up. I was just like, I've done this 17 years. I'm done. I can't do it. And now I'm doing it again, and I'm happy about it.
Well, bless you.
And it's my friends and my colleagues.
Right.
So many people have helped me. Like someone will say, Leanne, I know this person who might need printing. I know this person. And it just keeps snowballing.
Man, see, that's what ultimately the book is about. It's by all these people. Like, I'm a product of so many people, and I share those experiences in the book. But what I want to have happen is when you close it, what happened to you? You're like, you know what? I have that magic within me. I've just channeled it down the wrong way. I mean, you're no different than me. By the time I was diagnosed with cancer, I played in the NFL, beat the odds, and the odds were like 0.02% of high school kids ever playing in the NFL. Okay, so those are significant odds.
Especially from Idaho.
Okay, now Pocatello, Idaho is probably 0.000002. So, but those odds were beaten, and then all of this work ethic, and then I'll get those real discouraging people like, well, how many goals? Because you accomplish your goal, but wonder if you don't accomplish the goal. I go, okay, listen. You never, ever fail at it. You know how many times I will rush for 1,500 yards every season? Okay? I never rushed for 1,500 yards. But there was a couple years I got to 900 and 1,000. Well, guess what? I wouldn't even got to 900 or 1,000.
Right.
I put 1,500. And the things I learned on the journey, I couldn't replace those experiences. There's been a lot of goals I haven't achieved, but I've never failed at that journey. You know, there's always been things that I've experienced or learned. Had I not taken the journey, I never would have. And so, getting back to you, when I was diagnosed with cancer, all the experience I've had, you would think that I would take that news and I would say, no, I'm gonna grind it up, spit nails. And I didn't. I was just like I told you, I was like, oh, this is such a sad way to go. I mean, and it was a 9-year-old little girl who has to change my thought process. And, you know, it's just all these, Chuck Noll has changed my thought process.
She's her father's daughter, I guess.
I know, you know, but I have found inspiration in so many different ways, you know, kids, people I don't know, I mean, Aristotle, you know, Chuck Noll, Walter Payton, you know, through the Steeler organization, at ESPN, I mean, people within ESPN, I mean, just, it's everywhere if we look into it. And we need those reminders. We need that spark at times.
Yeah,
so,
I know I really needed it. Because when I started my business, I was one of the second, or not the first, women printing salesperson in the city.
Really?
And doing what I do, I sell commercial printing. I'm sort of like a printing broker. I don't actually have my own equipment. But, you know, there's all these old guys, you know, that running these printing presses, looking at me as a 28-year young old woman, you know, you don't know what you're talking about. And that just made me try harder and prove them all wrong. And, you know, that was a long time ago, and I just sort of forgot that for a while. But
yeah, see, that's ultimately what I know. See, I speak all over the country, too, and I'm telling you, the one thing that is more convinced now than ever is everybody has it within them. They have it.
yeah, I agree.
The most depressed person in the world has it. They're just focusing on all of these awful, miserable things that have happened in their life. You know, there's been people that have been dealt an awful hand, and I can't say my hand was dealt any, but they keep using the hand that they were dealt. So, end of the day, that is still where their energy's going. That's where their energy's going. It's like, well, this happened to me, and God, you know, and then this happened, and that's why I'm like that. Well, there's your energy. It's wasted all on that versus what you want to have happen and change.